typically become the focus of many battles. The hole in the center of the map is a great spot for any air scouting unit, as you can see any approaching attacks quite easily. Good luck to the players, and back to you guys at the desk.
We are back here with match point for IdrA. Give a cheer for SeLeCT, the red Terran in the bottom left, the Cinderella story in his 13th best of 3 here at MLG. IdrA, of course, the USA Zerg bad boy in the top right. So it looks like SeLeCT making a little joke about the fact that he wishes he had a Zerg practice partner, but I don't think he should sell himself down the river so soon. He had just a few adjustments to make, and he would have been able to perform quite well in that previous game.
Yeah, and one thing, I mean, we talk about how much SeLeCT plays the ladder, and he plays a lot on the U.S. ladder. Talking to him earlier last week, he was mentioning to me the fact that he doesn't have any good Zerg opponents to play on there on the U.S. server, so when he's up against a tip-top Zerg user like IdrA, he really doesn't have too much of an idea what to do. Throw in the new patch, and he's probably trying things out here on a whim.
And it looks like he is going once again for the extremely fast refinery build. And this definitely could come back to bite him, as on this map, the most reasonable early refinery build is, of course, fast Hellion play, but the Roaches are so easy to micro against those Hellions. But IdrA, as we've seen time and again, is favoring the Zerglings. Would not be surprised to see the gas and pool go down shortly.
Yeah, I mean, if IdrA actually goes for that natural expansion, you got to remember on a map like Xel'Naga Caverns, there are so many entrances into your base instead of one like we just saw on Lost Temple. And there goes the hatchery coming down for IdrA before pool. There's also this another entrance behind your base with those brushes, hiding any units that we do see from there. So there goes SeLeCT. He scouts the fact that IdrA is throwing down that hatchery, and he's going to be going into the main and not see a pool just yet.
Now, SeLeCT does counterintuitively seem to play best in these situations where he is up against, really against the wall, up in the face of elimination. But surprisingly enough, in this brief moment of lag, we see SeLeCT not playing as quickly as he traditionally was. In the previous games, he was playing up at 250, 260, and now he is at 218. Obviously enough to do what he needs to do at this phase in the game, but could be a sign that he is starting to sort of falter and become overtired.
Rax has finished, and he's instantly throwing down that factory, utilizing that early gas there that he did throw down before the Rax even begun, going ahead and making that reactor. So we are going to see Hellion play for the opener here. Here comes a drone for IdrA to see what is up in the base of his Terran, opponent. SeLeCT going ahead and sending that SCV back to just do a little bit of damage onto that hatchery, and going to be sending that into his main of IdrA in just a couple of seconds.
And if we look at the production tab, only queens and drones coming out for IdrA. He did get this very early gas. Let's see if he gets yet another early second queen. Very common play on this map. Yes, indeed, there is the second queen coming up. SeLeCT now backing up towards his natural expansion. That reactor has just finished for SeLeCT, and he will be doing the swap between the factory and the barracks. Curious to see what his follow-up play is going to be. The drone getting up into the high ground does manage to block just for a brief period of time, but it is not going to be enough. We do see double Hellion play. Should be starting from SeLeCT.
Oh,
should be starting.
The drone was trying to steal the gas again, but SeLeCT's 2 SCVs put it into that, killing that drone. And Sean, I have a question for you. When we're watching a match like this, TVZ, where you're really not too sure what to do in terms of an opener after that Hellion, what are your thoughts right now on this matchup? What would you do if you were playing currently in this match?
I think the most reasonable thing is to fall back on the good old Reaper into early expand opening, very versatile, or perhaps a 1 barracks, 1 factory into expand. This double Hellion, fortunately, is going to play out reasonably normally, as we do see the fact that IdrA is going Zerglings with Zergling speed, and I also don't mind this very fast tech to a starport. We see the tech lab coming out as well, and here's the double Hellion play. SeLeCT is going to try to find some opening to squeeze up there, but we see IdrA doing a very good job of continuing to add larva, positioning those queens, and having enough Zerglings up on the high ground to block.
Yeah, he's continuing to spread that creep, which of course gives him sight and allows his lings without speed. His speed is almost done to go ahead and try to get us around onto those Hellions. We do have the starport, or no, the factory switching out onto that tech lab. It is going to go ahead and land. Does he have a factory? No, he does not. So we might just be seeing tanks. A medevac is going ahead and being built out of that starport. Some more damage here, I believe. Was that a creep tumor that he just killed from the high ground trying to go down?
It sadly was a cancel, so he's not going to be able to do as much damage as he wishes, and SeLeCT doing some very nice little plays there with Hellions. And if we go to the unit counting station, IdrA again getting barely enough lings to be able to deal with some sort of drop. The layer is still a little ways behind, 2 spine crawlers and 2 extreme extractors out right now. That SCV by the Xel'Naga Watchtower doing the repair, and the perfectly placed Overlord is going to spot everything SeLeCT has in mind.
We do have one Viking coming out of that starport. No attachment just yet, and nothing being produced out of that factory. Looks like all 4 Hellions have loaded into that medevac. We're going to be seeing a drop here. IdrA did very well against defending this last game, and both queens have been pulled into the main as he did see that. SeLeCT actually pulling that medevac back, going to be swinging around and probably dropping in here at the natural expansion, but there are 2 spine crawlers in place that will easily defend against those 4 Hellions.
The big danger right now for SeLeCT is the fact that IdrA has a Spire already en route. He absolutely needs to have some sort of big anti-air play coming up very soon. The Viking, of course, is taking out the Overlords. And there's the big push, the anti-timing by IdrA for unburrowing that spine crawler, but all of the speed Zerglings are arriving and surrounding these Hellions. Hellions are so weak against Zerglings if they do get surrounded, but doing a nice little lineup there, trying to retreat back to this medevac, but there the medevac is going to be able to see the Spire, going to try to drop in the main to do some damage, but in the resource station we already see that IdrA is performing quite well. He is behind his opponent, but that Spire that will finish soon will allow him to catch up rapidly.
Looks like the medevac might be dropping the Hellion again, or it's just going to fly back and come for another. Nope, there goes the Hellion going down. He's going to try to get a couple extra kills, but here come the Lings. He needs to quickly get back into that medevac. Looks like the expansion of SeLeCT is being thrown down. This is exactly what we saw last game with that bunker coming down, but IdrA was sending Lings at the base of SeLeCT last game, and he was able to do so much damage with those Lings. Looks like no Lings are coming. Actually, here they come across the map just like last time.
And this is such a smart play by IdrA right when all of a sudden the harass seems about finished by his opponent. Wants to immediately put as much pressure on as he can in the main of SeLeCT. We see absolutely no good anti-air, just Marines without stim at this point in time. IdrA is going to have to retreat, but SeLeCT is going to be in a very awkward position trying to be able to stay alive against Mutalisk in the later stages of the game. And as you've been pointing out every time, very fast +1.
Yeah, that makes such a big difference with those Mutas because, of course, they do attack 3 times with their volley. They're moving on to other units that are near. Looks like SeLeCT actually took out one of those Overlords with that Viking that did produce a while back from that starport. And here comes 2 more Raxes being added, as well as missile turrets going up to defend all of the structures that SeLeCT has, as there are 3 Mutas screaming across the map right now.
And it looks like this turret will not be up in time. That is very important that SeLeCT managed to keep that one alive. He's not target firing the SCV. Oh, no, barely in the nick of time. Not finishing it, and there it finally finishes. So IdrA will be repelled successfully. SeLeCT is almost certainly going to be transitioning to some big barracks play, eventually getting stim and combat shield for the large push, but I do like the fact that he's already begun substantial tank production. He is going to rely on the good old tank marine mix to deal with the large Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisk force from IdrA.
Looks like IdrA is doing what he always does in this base. He's setting up to take his 3rd. Baneling nest has gone down, continuing to try to put on some pressure with these Mutalisks there. Looks like those Marines will go ahead and make those Mutalisks run away. There goes the depots trying to burrow into the ground and hide from the Mutalisks, but of course they still can hit them. Now the Mutalisks have been somewhat repelled. Going back over into the base of IdrA, looks like a drone is on its way to go ahead and take that 3rd there right next to his natural expansion, opting not to take that high yield expansion as the rocks have still not gone down. Attack for the Flyers has finished. They're not getting level 1. Going ahead and getting the centrifugal hooks for the Banelings as that has just begun.
And I really like this play by SeLeCT. He's opting to get tons of Marines before even getting any upgrades for them. He knows that any attack early on will get shut down by Lings, Banelings, and Mutas. So he's going to wait until that Marine count is quite high. He's advancing forward with his Marines. He's already getting a good amount of medevacs. IdrA, the king of bringing supply depots down to 10 HP and letting them burn down on their own. Looks like a decent amount of medevacs and Marines continuing to be produced. And look at IdrA just gooping up the center of the map.
Looks like we have stim pack and of course combat shield being researched as we see a heavy Marine army right now for SeLeCT. Also getting Terran infantry level 1s. He's going around trying again to kill these depots. He is going to get one of them. Is he going to get the second one to start burning? There goes, going down to 50 HP. That can of course get repaired, and SeLeCT does go ahead and pull an SCV, but IdrA was actually sending those Mutalisks back, but the Marines of SeLeCT were still there, so he's going to go ahead and have to send those back to the base and come back another day.
SeLeCT having very nice timing on this play, and this is the style that most Terrans have been relying on in Terran vs. Zerg, the gigantic Marine mix, making more Marines than there are all Zerg units combined, just hoping to have something alive after the initial damage of those Baneling. IdrA knows that that's the scary time, so he's going to try to pick off the reactor. Oh no, it does manage to get taken out, so SeLeCT is going to have to rebuild that reactor, and IdrA is going to try to exploit it by just picking it off again and again.
Yeah, IdrA being so annoying with those Mutalisks. Looks like the third base for IdrA has begun, or has finished there, and a ton of Banelings being morphed in there. They do, of course, have Baneling speed already, and this is pretty much what we always see IdrA do. SeLeCT is actually moving out with all of those Marines. It's going to be very important that he can get those tanks into siege mode, and here we go!
And there's the stim. He needs to back away. There's a lot of Banelings. He needs to run off creep. There's the siege mode. He doesn't really manage to pick off that many, and the Mutalisks just annihilate everything. IdrA is one game away from victory. SeLeCT trying to micro. SeLeCT has just lost all of his tanks. He just did not siege up at the right time. IdrA now just marching forward with all of these Mutalisks. The roach change didn't matter at all for him, just mutas and Banelings for IdrA.
And there's only a handful of Marines about to pop out of those racks right now. So many mutas in the base of SeLeCT. Here comes a couple of lings just to add some more punishment there. Factory is going to go down, and good game from SeLeCT. IdrA is your MLG DC winner.
And that is a tragic finish for SeLeCT, who just had to play so many series after series after series and just could not stay through to the very end. But IdrA, of course, is the most seasoned practice player here, has played in the most large-scale SC2 tournaments, and his experience really showed today as he is our winner.
And there's a little bit of grin. I saw a lot of people talking on TeamLiquid.net asking if IdrA ever smiles, and that's when he smiles, when he wins an event, when he knows that his job is complete, coming all the way from South Korea, proving that he still has the stuff. We're going to cut to a commercial break and be right back with an interview with our winner here at MLG DC.